Alright guys, this is CJ's first match. He's trained about 10, 11 times with me, doing only the ecological approach. We have some good results here, but let's get right to the match. Go ahead and feel free to turn me off. I'm just doing this voice recording, just to kind of narrate what's going on. So he's clinching. We do a lot of stand-up, so I knew he would score a lot today stand-up. The guy pulls close guard. CJ kind of just pins him down. And we're just going to have this situation here where he's surviving attacks for a little bit and just keeps getting his arms to the inside. So right away we just have kind of what looks like stalling. The ref eventually in one of the matches puts a bunch of penalties on CJ. I don't know if that happens yet. CJ's actually working here. This is his first match. He's never had a match before. He's competing at white belt at 180 pounds or 185 pounds, and he did really well. It was sort of an experiment to see how this would go. I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew he would do well in certain categories, and other categories we have some things to work on, but what more could I ask for? We won our first match here in just a little bit. You guys will see we get a victory here. So surviving close guard, just kind of like nullifying any advantages the guy on bottom had, driving in really hard, making this guy kind of wear him down a little bit, bear some weight, give him that treatment, that really hard forward pressure. And everything the guy tried to do with his arms, he really couldn't get anywhere, and CJ just did a really good job continually pinning this guy and kind of making him miserable. I was shouting, obviously, certain instructions just to keep him aware of things that maybe he's not aware of, to just try to direct his attention. But if you ask your athletes after their match if they heard anything, I would continually ask them for feedback. Like after their match, I'd be like, did you hear any of our coaching? And 9 times out of 10, they'd say, no, I didn't hear a single thing you guys said. I did see a few times directing their attention with cues from the side of the mat did kind of help them, but for the most part, I think it was mostly useless. There was a few moments that actually mattered, but we do yell a lot off the side of the sidelines because that's just what everyone thinks that they should do. I talked to each athlete before. I just say, I might not say anything to you in this match unless you really want me to. I'm just gonna, if I see anything obvious, I'll try to help you out. But and some of the guys actually appreciate that because they don't just like being yelled at. I was telling CJ here to keep kicking his leg out and freeing it, and he actually did a really good job staying balanced here, kicking his legs out and freeing him. But he didn't get around those legs, so he ends up back in the closed guard. This is white belt, guys. Make whatever judgments you want, but we do get the W in this match. And if you guys are outcome based, that's really what I'm looking for. He did not get tapped out. He did not get what looks like did not get sweeped. So we get that. We get past it. So you guys see, busted out of that. Guy rocked forward, and then he ended up in half guard here. And now we play this game a lot at the school. So CJ's getting exhausted. It's kind of affecting him, And as your athletes get tired, their ability to act goes down, and their perception also gets affected, which is kind of interesting because they are sitting like I'm sitting like a few feet away, and the other coach is sitting a few feet away, and you can hear us, he can hear us, but he almost doesn't process what we're saying because he's in such a high energy environment that you might as well have just been yelling any old word at him half the time. That's just the feedback I got from my two athletes here. This is our first match, so this is his white belt. Trained 10 times, let's go do it. And we do get a victory. Luckily, I've had him game a lot from like all over the place, so he can survive a lot. I know he won't get caught. I believe he did not get caught, but he does find his way. He looked at the clock to see how much time was left, and in the last 30 seconds, he did dive back for a straight ankle, and he does have a pretty mean straight ankle. So that's the first match out of the way. Now we have another guy. This match, guys, it is a long match. I think they go the distance, and CJ's just gonna continually try to engage. He was tired. I don't know if he was intimidated at all, but the guy was tough, and the guy kept baiting him to try to do guillotine style attacks on him. So CJ is pushing the action already. he did push the action most of this fight. The other guy kind of just, was trying to time a guillotine setup. You could see it from a mile away. I mean, I could see it from a mile away. The guy wasn't trying to wrestle him down at all, but he also didn't pull guard, so it was very interesting there. CJ escaped a very tight guillotine a little bit later in the match that kind of had him a little bit shook because he said it was like super tight and he was thinking about tapping, but he just got out of that. The ref will walk away at some point to go verify a rule, but the rule was if a submission is live and they reset you from a submission, you score 2 points. That was an interesting thing about this rule set. If you're on the edge of the mat and the ref has to like reset you and you're in a submission, they'll reset you not in the submission, but they'll give the guy 2 points who went for the submission. So again, you guys see we're just playing get to the leg, and right here that was super tight, guys. I thought he was gonna tap. I really thought so, but he got out of that, and he's really tired, guys. The first question I was asking him when he got off the mat each time was if he needed to throw up, because he did look like he did need to throw up, but he didn't. He just kind of got gassed, and now the ref leaves a little bit here to go check. CJ's just kind of walking around. I remember just telling him like keep going with that takedown, keep getting, because nobody scored yet, right? Nobody got a penalty yet either, but nobody also scored. Um, some of the stuff I'd take away from this day was I'm pretty happy with the result here. We obviously have to work on guard specific for the BJJ rule set. My guys don't really train around the BJJ rule set like specifically. We just do like grappling that would translate to anything. So mostly just get on top, stay on top stuff. But in this rule set, it permits people like sitting to their butt. And just to get the game going, it would be cool to have like a B plan. Like, A plan's not working. Can't get this guy to take down. Let's go ahead and pull guard and start working there. But, I'm happy with this. He's literally trained 10 times, guys. So all you guys out there who have been training for I don't know how long and you haven't competed yet, I mean, this guy is a good example of just get out there and do it. You'll be surprised with the results. I think we get a victory here. This is another win. It's going to be just a lot of this going back and forth. I don't want to skip it. I want to leave it all in just to not cut anything out. I just want it to all be there. So we do see CJ like changing levels, getting into the hand fight like that. I was yelling at him to get to a 2-on-1 situation, or at least to snap that head down and start bullying the guy's head to weigh down on him. And he did a little bit, but that guy was just really disengaging everything over and over again, disengaging. I do see the leg just sitting there available, that lead leg. And I think the guy was just trying to like time it so he could try to wrap his neck up like, you know, day one trap that standing guys set, like the day one trap. Guys will just stand there, wait for you to shoot, try to wrap your neck up and try to tap you out. He went for like some kind of outside trip there. Would have been better if he actually turned the guys back towards the mat. An interesting conversation I had with another coach. He has an interesting theory that I sort of agree with. He said stand up is just butterfly guard on your feet. And knowing that, it does kind of have the same mechanics and the same effect. So just food for thought, like a little thing to think about when you go out there and you start clinching up with guys. We're trying to get locked hands around the opponent. We're trying to pick their leg up. We're trying to get locked hands around their head. We're trying to work our way closer and closer and stay balanced and knock them over. But CJ's actually dealing with like being super exhausted. In this situation, it's really hard to mimic what it feels like to go out there with all this noise, with all of the pressure, with all of the like stress of competing for your first time, or even competition in general. All that anxious energy saps a lot of your energy and your ability to move. So if you're competing and you're not like super used to that environment, or like, he's laughing and stuff right now, but he's very, very tired. So it's slowing down his like action and clouding his perception. He might have some fear. This is an opponent he doesn't know. He's used to rolling with like the guys in the gym and the same dudes, and like they're predictable to him now. So that variability is important. This guy's got a deep underhook, and we get a reset again. Yeah, so there's really nothing I could critique. I don't really want to do that about that's not about that with this one. This is just sheerly an experiment, observation, and motivation to just go and play and do it. Um, Going forward, I'll probably have him work on guard more, just specific to the BJJ rule set. But I have very limited time as a coach to get these guys, sufficient in every single situation. Like, we definitely do not neglect stand up. But again, let's just remind you as you're watching this, CJ, the guy in the red with the bear, he's trained 10 times. Look at that. So he scooped that leg up, picked the guy up off the floor, and put him down. We got 2 points there. And now all we need to do is just, I think, kill the clock here. We had like 30 seconds left. And don't get penalty points for stalling. But he likes to dive headfirst into these guards, which as fights go, whatever, that might work in a fight. Just smash your head into the guy and start headbutting him and biting him and hitting him and stuff. That's fine with me for ground and pound, but I do need to get him some sport oriented behavior, standing and breaking the guard, which he did do at one point, and then he fell back and kind of hit an ankle lock. So this is his third and final match. So far, he's winning all of his matches, and he's really tired here. I don't even think he wanted to do anything. He was just like really tired. But he goes for it a little bit. This guy is a tough opponent, man. He's a really good, tough opponent. They got connected hands here, and we go to the ground. He uses it to get back up. Just those connected hands really afforded him some good recovery ability to affect the guy's hips and keep him off of him. He did a good job with that. The guy gets like almost on his back. I don't really remember what happens. Let's see. Yeah, CJ uses that arm to just kind of lever him off his back and put him down on the floor. Guys just grabbing him. In this match, I think CJ's up by 2 now, right? So he's diving into that guard. He might get some penalties here because he's just gonna sit here for a while. I mean, he is working, so who knows who's to say? But he does at some point just keep grabbing onto this guy and just like sandbagging. So I kept instructing him like off the side, like to be aware of his arm, the arm that's overhooked right now, to be aware of that. You could pass over the diagonal leg from that overhook, but yeah, he got in a little bit of trouble here. He got set up in a triangle. Good on the opponent for figuring that out. Good on the opponent for hooking the leg and trying to transition there. Good on CJ for dropping back for that leg lock, but I believe it forces him to give up 2 points now. He gets 2 points and then he gets mounted, so it's 4 points or 3 points for the guard pass, 4 points for the mount. So that decision just put him back five points down. So just sitting back for the leg lock and missing it and not getting his legs between himself and the opponent. Opponent came up, got a sweep, a guard pass, and a mount. So he got 2 plus 3 plus 4. He got 9 points for that single moment right there. You guys saw. Now CJ's really just laying there tired, and the guy on top is just trying to elbow separate, and CJ's got his arms clamped, and he's just surviving under there for as long as he can. I can't see what's going on with the other side. I don't know if the guy's harassing his neck or wrapping his head up, but CJ's trying to get his hands back in so he can push this guy left and right. But it is kind of, he is so tired. You see, there's no movement. He does explode here and there and try to get his movement on, but I'm pretty happy about this match. Obviously, he was like really shot. This guy jumps off to go knee on belly, and I think he's just gonna rack points up now. But I don't know if he gets points for dismounting and remounting. But I don't see the ref didn't give him any. I'm not sure personally, really, how they categorize that much. But the guy's trying to isolate CJ's arms. That looked like almost a Kimura attempt of some kind. And the other guy was really solid. Like he was really good. He had what looked like a really nice top game, really good guard game. He like is trying to isolate CJ's head and arm. I believe going for another triangle, but CJ uses that to get up, and so the match kind of runs out because my battery died, I believe. But they end up wrestling for a little bit longer, and then CJ just loses on points, and it ends up in like a front headlock for like the rest of the match. And CJ's just chasing the leg to try to get that takedown. So it was like turtle bottom front headlock. Anyway, that was the matches. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And CJ, proud of you, man. Good work today.